woman is accused of killing her boyfriend.
Sarah Boone.
Sarah Boone
went to bed while her boyfriend was trapped inside of a suitcase.
You zipped him in there.
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little drunk.
It was. We both were laughing about it. Okay. And then I fell asleep.
We don't respond to a lot of incidents that happen involving a suitcase.
I thought it was very strange. Two are grown adults playing hide and seek, and then one of them ends up dead.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
He's begging for his life and telling her he can't breathe.
Sarah, why she would have videotaped it, is beyond my comprehension. It appeared that her only possible defense would be battered women syndrome.
If he would have gotten out of the suitcase, what would he have done to you?
He probably would have made me unrecognizable, or I would have lost my life.
There is no doubt that Sarah Boone is the victim. She was justified in the action she took to provide self-defense.
Your wife is in a bar. You said she's unresponsive.
This is what he's going to tell you. How to get out of that situation.
And I grabbed the gun.
Trying to find the first place to put a body.
No, sir.
The only thing they could do was kill him.
You want to say anything?
We, the jury, to find the defendant.
What is the location of your emergency?
4748 France Court, apartment 3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
The caller was 42-year-old Sarah Boone, reporting the death of her boyfriend for the last 3 years, George Torres.
No, tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in a suitcase and we were playing. And like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
They rolled the emergency services to that address. They walked in and found George on the ground next to the open suitcase. There was nothing that could be done at that point. He was declared deceased.
When I responded, Sarah was outside of her apartment.
All right, Sarah, my name's Chelsea. My partner, Scott.
We don't respond to a lot of incidents that happen involving a suitcase, and I was eager to hear what unfolded.
He was so you guys were playing the hide and go.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll zip you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But then I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. I fell asleep.
Where was the suitcase?
Right where it is.
In it, right down there?
Yes.
You zipped him in there?
Yes.
Thought he would be funny, a little drunk?
It was. We both were laughing about it. Okay. And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning, or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
What time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase.
I thought it was very strange. Two are grown adults, no children in sight, playing hide and seek, and then one of them ends up dead.
And I was like, I forgot he was in the suitcase, and he wasn't moving, nothing was happening, so I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him.
It was a fairly large suitcase. One of the zippers was actually damaged. The pull on the zipper was missing. If you're on the inside of a suitcase, I don't see it being so easy to open that up. George was not a very big person in stature. He was, I believe, like 5'4" in height. He was folded up, kind of in a fetal position is how I imagined it when it was explained to me. And he obviously, being confined in that space, it was very difficult for him to breathe or even move. Sarah's ex-husband, Brian Boone, was on scene, and when we interviewed him, that's the first time that we really started to get kind of an idea of the relationship that Sarah and George were in.
They've got a whole fun history.
Oh, really?
Oh, you guys call them like
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested like I think 5 times for this.
So they have
He's currently on parole because of it. So
because of domestic violence with her?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We looked it up. I believe we found about 14 previous calls for service over the prior year to that address.
Did I make an entrance? Sheriff's office, you in there? Come on out.
The detectives discovered body cam video from the most recent incident when George was taken into custody.
Whoa, hey! Show us your hands. Come out with your hands up. George, step out with your hands up. Put your hands behind your head. I'm here.
George was arrested several times for domestic battery. Sarah was arrested a couple of times. I took it to be a mutually combative relationship.
I was taken aback as far as why George would crawl into a suitcase. They had just finished fighting the night before, where I believe he flung her down the steps.
The couple was notorious for their drunken fights, according to the apartment maintenance supervisor.
He worked, but she was supported by her ex-husband. The heart of the issue was the fact that they just enjoyed drinking to the point that they got very physical and disrespectful to each other. George ended up going to anger management, and I would give him the advice, walk away, because your problem is one of you is going to jail and the other one's going to be dead.
But Sarah told detectives she and George had not been drinking that much while playing hide and seek.
The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol had something to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine.
She had been claiming that, they had drank a little bit, but they weren't drunk, they were not intoxicated. We had questioned her on that, and she was adamant that they were not.
So in my eyes, I'm trying to corroborate her story, see if what she's telling me is adding up. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things? Yes. Okay. So I kind of explained it to her. We would like to go through your phone, and these are the reasons why. She gave us consent, and I had her sign a consent form.
I took it to be, okay, well, she doesn't have anything to hide on the phone. She voluntarily gave the phone up.
But as the detectives began to look at the download of Sarah's phone, there was a video of the suitcase.
We did look at each other and went, oh, wow.
Sarah. And they could hear the voice of George zipped up inside the suitcase with Sarah talking back to him.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
You.
Sarah.
You.
Flat out telling her, I can't breathe in here. And she was very dismissive of it, cussed at him, used profanities to get her feelings across.
Sarah.
Stupid.
Sarah.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
Sarah. I can't breathe, babe. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do and you choke me.
Sarah.
He's begging for his life and telling her he can't breathe.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
And, trying to get help, and she's blatantly, just aggressively continuing to just yell at him and just treat him like dirt.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
We're hearing her speech in the video, and she was obviously intoxicated, highly intoxicated in the video.
Real or ransom. Might want to get video for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah, I can't breathe, babe.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you drink on me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
I can't breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the up.
At that point, I was definitely not thinking this was just an accident.
A second video was taken about 11 minutes later, showing the suitcase in a different position.
It had been turned. It was moved. So it was laying on the other side. Why she was moving it around, I don't know. And in my opinion, when she turned that phone off, she deliberately left him in the suitcase and went to bed.
And there was only one person who could explain why.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I'm going to read you your rights again.
The detective's game plan was to, at first, hold back confronting Sarah about the videos they found on her phone.
I was like, just trying to kind of downplay it in a sense because I don't want to spook her too much. I still want her to be cooperative with me.
And they started with the autopsy report that found George had essentially suffocated, positional asphyxia. But also the report identified several injuries to his body.
So, this morning we went to his autopsy. And we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So so he's got scratch marks to his back.
I know what that's from.
Okay. And it's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his lip. We could see his mouth was a little.
I haven't laid a hand on him.
Okay.
He fell off my son's bike.
Okay.
So I don't know, and he's notorious for running into the wall or the hall tree. So
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
And they're all recent. They occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, the night leading up.
Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on his head and skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I have not touched him.
Trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
And, I didn't want to be aggressive with her, or I just wanted to listen. But this person can't give himself these injuries. You're lying to me.
I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is.
Right. So what do you mean by he comes after you?
He gets belligerently drunk. At one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk.
Sarah's phone did indeed have videos of George smashing Sarah's television.
Why are you still with him?
Everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him. I do. And I feel like I can help him. I feel like I could help him.
I am a female, so I think that in these type of cases, when you have a female suspect, I do think that obviously we can relate to each other a little more.
Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. And I tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night. I miss him a lot.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
She just kept painting herself as a victim. Everything was poor Sarah. Poor Sarah, this is being done to Sarah.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him? And
I never stopped.
I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
you were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody.
You told me on recording, like, that you were not drunk, he was not drunk, you guys were having a good time.
I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-compos mentis, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control.
She tried to downplay her drinking and tried to upplay more of I'm a victim and, you know, I'm smart, I'm educated.
But detectives have located surveillance videos at a grocery store showing the two of them buying a large bottle of wine that day.
You see them on video. They purchased a Magnum bottle of wine.
And then a few hours later, George returned to the store and bought another bottle of wine.
Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship? When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
I mean, I understand, you know, you're claiming that Sunday it was a joking matter. You were laughing, he was laughing. But what I'm just asking is in the past, like, is it something that you guys normally do?
Absolutely not.
And now, one more question before the detectives confronted Sarah with the phone videos.
Okay, so do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday? No.
She was about to find out the detectives knew otherwise.
Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone. Can you see it?
It was about 38 minutes into the interrogation.
We hadn't told her that we found the videos. We wanted to see her reaction. If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh, let me just grab something.
Unfortunately, my laptop died on us. Detective Kepsel, just very calm, very collected, went, got a cord, came back in, got it going again.
You guys are scaring me.
Sorry.
We just want you to watch this. This came from your phone. Don't you want to know what's on it?
Yes, please. Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take. I don't know how much I can take. Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah. We're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
No.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. You.
I don't want to watch it, please.
She didn't want to see it. We were playing the video for her. She didn't want to watch it. She didn't want to see it. We needed her to see it.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
I continue to play them in the background as we continue to talk because I thought that was important for her to hear those things. He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end it sounds kind of like a...
No, it's not malicious. My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows, so it goes from funny to no longer funny.
But
You're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was like panicky. Like
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe. But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging. And you're the only one laughing. Okay. And you're the only one saying derogatory comments. Like you're mad.
No. Please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me. Like,
no, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
Well, I know what.
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
Probably because we have been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
Because you're drunk doesn't mean that you...
times that you were not drunk. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
The video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
No.
The injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really truly does.
You don't think that I have thought about that?
Thought about the video or thought about...
But no, again, if you don't mind, please. So you all are assuming that it's like, oh good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you all are assuming?
Well, it's not an assumption when that's what you told us, so that happened.
That's what happened. I wasn't following her line and wasn't treating her as the victim.
Because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just
I didn't kill him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there? Punishing him?
No. Just...
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
This is what you got. This is what you make me feel like.
See, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand the severity of this.
He's dead.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
She confessed to an extent. I was looking for the intent, and I was just looking for a more plausible explanation.
I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George. That's not the situation, but it's trying to depend on me. That was not my intent. But it's trying to depend on me.
At some point, you have to end it and know, okay, she's not going to give you what you want.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall. Put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay. At that point, I'd had enough of her. We secured her. She was taken to the jail.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Not intentionally. We understand that.
He's still dead.
George is dead. You killed him, and he suffered immensely, and so no, you're going to jail for this.
But it would take 4 years before the case went to trial, and by then, Sarah Boone and her lawyer had come up with a legal defense that she thought would help her beat the charge of murder.
Welcome to the Law and Crime Network. Sarah Boone is facing second-degree murder charges.
Her attorneys claim she acted in self-defense.
In terms of a murder weapon, there was no gun or knife. It was a suitcase, and that's not something you see in every case.
A Florida woman is accused of killing her boyfriend after leaving him in a suitcase.
And Sarah Boone became known as the Suitcase Killer.
Welcome into another episode here on Sarah Boone.
Sarah Boone went to bed while her boyfriend was trapped inside of a suitcase.
The trial was delayed for 4 years by COVID, hurricanes, and Sarah's unhappiness with her lawyers.
I was the 6th attorney that she had as what's called court-appointed or registry attorney.
Frank Bankwitz had worked out a deal for Sarah, who was facing a possible life sentence, for her to plead to a lesser count of manslaughter and be out of prison in 7 years.
Given all the circumstances, it was an excellent resolution, but she would not accept it. Just flat out refused it. It appeared that her only possible defense would be battered women syndrome. Miss Boone had been very badly injured on a number of occasions. It's definitely a recognized, psychological syndrome. It was the only shot.
But then, after almost a year, Sarah Boone told the court she wanted to fire Bankwitz too as her lawyer.
She called me a buffoon, I think, and there were several other not very nice comments. She wasn't happy with me, that's for sure. Very, very demanding. She ran the show.
By the time the trial started, Boone had fired 2 more lawyers and was now represented by a 9th lawyer, with the plea deal still on the table.
Ma'am, understanding the state's offer, do you wish to accept or reject the state's offer to resolve this case?
Reject.
Okay. Mr. J, you may proceed, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, what the evidence in this case is going to show you is that this defendant zipped Jorge Torres shot in a suitcase, and she did this with the malicious intent to punish him, and then she went up to sleep and left him to take his final breaths on this earth alone. The defendant killed Mr. Torres as she decided he deserved. Not because the evidence will show an objective, reasonable person or circumstance. He did. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. J. Any opening remarks by the defense?
Boone's new lawyer, James Owens, also decided to go with the battered women's syndrome defense.
Sarah Boone and George Torres were down and out, as you can be. Their life centered around alcohol. And you're going to learn, with all that, was domestic violence. And that George Torres physically abused Sarah Boone. Sarah Boone will take the stand. She will explain what happened. She will explain why it happened. The evidence will show that she was justified in the action she took to prevent an attack from George Torres, which the law acknowledges that every one of us has a right to invoke, the right of self-defense.
First thing the prosecution wanted the jury to see was the suitcase.
We wanted the jury to be able to, see how the zippers looked on the suitcase, whether or not George Torres could indeed open that suitcase from inside.
How easy is it to operate the zipper that closes the suitcase?
It was a little difficult.
Good afternoon. Could you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Yes, it's Chelsea Kepsel.
Lead Detective Chelsea Kepsel conducted the 2-hour interrogation of Sarah Boone.
And do you see the person today here in court who admitted going to bed while George Torres continued to suffer in the suitcase?
Yes, I do.
Could you please identify that person by an article of clothing they're wearing?
Yes, she's at the defense table in black and I guess a pinkish top.
And then the prosecution played the entirety of the 2 phone videos that Sarah had taken of George in the suitcase.
Sarah, I can't breathe it.
That's on you.
The video is very chilling. It was a powerful moment to see the circumstances of George Torres and how he was murdered.
I can't breathe, babe.
It was tough to watch, yeah. Why she would have videotaped it, is beyond my comprehension.
It set the stage for Sarah Boone to tell her side of the story.
All right, ma'am, you could take a seat. And if you could, state and spell your name for the record for us.
Sarah Boone.
Are you a little bit nervous?
A little bit.
How did you and George get along when y'all first met?
Very well. It was strange how quickly we hit things off and had so much in common.
Is there times when he would get to a state of intoxication where he would get violent against you?
Quite often.
Were those injuries to your arm?
Yes.
Were they caused by George Torres?
Yes.
Did he willingly get in the suitcase?
He was already in there.
All right. Tell us what happened.
I just I zipped him up. We thought it was funny, and we're joking about how he was small enough to fit inside of the suitcase. That's when I went over and decided to videotape to just see the jest in it, for him to understand that right now I feel safe and right now I have the ability to actually speak to you in a manner that normally I would not have the ability to do.
And you were intoxicated.
Yes.
And you would agree that you said some things you should not.
Yes.
But would it be fair to say that you had some anger at that point?
I did.
And did you want him to feel some uncomfort?
I did.
I think that she could have been prepped better to curb her feelings and her attitude. And attitude to a jury means a lot.
And my fear was that he was going to break out of the suitcase knowing that it was a broken suitcase. And his hand started to come through. His hand started to come through this way.
Was he trying to get out?
Forcefully, yes.
Was he angry at you?
Yes.
Were you in fear?
Always.
If he would have gotten out of the suitcase, what would he have done to you?
Like he used to tell me, he probably would have made me unrecognizable, or I would have lost my life.
And then Sarah Boone admitted something she had repeatedly denied to detectives.
And so what did you do?
For the split-second reaction that I had, I happened to see that, and I grabbed the baseball bat and was trying to poke his hand to go back in, to please don't break through, please. So I hit his hand.
And then the barrel of the bat, the big part of the bat is here.
Correct.
And you thrusted it into the different areas of the suitcase?
I started with his hand, and his hand, he was still trying to get out.
So in your mind, did you prevent him from attacking you?
Absolutely. Split-second decision.
After you had hit him with the bat, was he not trying to get out anymore?
No.
Just very self-centered. Her only concern was for her.
Did you ever believe he could die in there?
No. At all.
Were you trying to kill him?
Never.
As long as he was in the suitcase, he couldn't harm you.
Correct.
Miss Finn, tell the jury why you lied to the police.
I lied to the police. Basically everyone, because I was extremely fearful of being arrested.
Are you telling the truth today?
I am.
Did you love George?
To this day.
Thank you. That's all right.
Any cross-examination?
The prosecutor had Sarah Boone demonstrate how she zipped George into the suitcase.
It is kind of chilling to see her manipulating that suitcase knowing that George Torres died there.
How did he express his anger with you?
Told me that I was going to die.
Okay. Now this is happening after he's already told you several times he cannot breathe in the suitcase, correct?
Correct.
And you're filming, your purpose of filming is to kind of teach him a lesson. This is your chance to say something to him when he can't say anything back to you, correct?
No.
Then correct me.
There was no lesson to be learned. It was just I wanted him to try to understand how I felt so maybe he could progress in being a better person the next day.
So you wanted him to understand how you felt in the past, and that's not teaching a lesson?
I just wanted him to understand.
Okay. Was he still asking for you and calling your name?
Not that I can recall.
Did you do anything to help him escape from the predicament that you zipped him up in?
No.
No other questions?
I think she came across as vengeful. I just didn't think it played well with the jury.
This is a box. This is the box where George Torres was killed. George Torres took his last panicked breaths in this box.
Sometimes when people hear, oh, this person died in a suitcase, it can be kind of trivializing, and there was nothing trivial about this case, so I wanted to reframe it for them that this could be any person trapped in a box.
George Torres was murdered in this box. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments, Mr. Owens will rise. He's going to talk to you about what an awful, awful boyfriend George Torres was. Battered spouse is not some carte blanche. Battered spouse is not a license to kill. The fact that George Torres at points mistreated Sarah Boone doesn't mean that she walks around with an ace in her pocket when it comes to George Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that you are going to come back with the only lawful verdict, which is guilty as charged, second-degree murder. Thank you.
Mr. Owens, you may proceed, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
There is no doubt that Sarah Boone is the victim. That Sarah Boone has been traumatized. That Sarah Boone is still traumatized. And the reason for the trauma is George Torres. Sarah Boone didn't know that he could die in there. And as naive as that sounds, she didn't appreciate the danger. I mean, is that the way you want to kill somebody? Is that the way you're going to do it? The law empowers an individual to defend their life and safety when faced with a threat and to prevent an attack. That's what Sarah Boone did. We ask that you do justice in this case and find her not guilty because the doubt is reasonable. And give Sarah Boone some hope for a better life and freedom. Thank you.
They went to the jury room, deliberated basically over dinner, and after dinner, they came out with their decision.
Madam Clerk, if you could please publish the verdict.
The jury was back with a verdict in less than 2 hours.
in the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in Orange County, Florida, in the state of Florida versus Sarah Boone. Will the jury find the defendant guilty of murder in the second degree as charged in the information?
She just sat there, very stoic, didn't cry, didn't move, no tears.
My son is not here no more. She don't only kill my son, she killed a father, a brother, an uncle. It was my son, I love him. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good son. Thank you.
Judge, I would like to call Sarah Boone.
You may proceed.
I forgive George for beating me senseless, for causing me so much trauma and pain mentally, physically, emotionally, for destroying my reputation and integrity, for my M for murderer scarlet letter.
Again, it's herself. It's her, not the fact that this person died.
I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family. Forgive me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me.
Second-degree murder is a punishable by life felony. We asked for a life sentence.
Court pronounces sentence as follows. Ms. Boone, court sentences you to life in the Department of Corrections.
I think she was surprised at the sentence. Life means life. You walk in and you come out in a pine box.
It's unimaginable that someone could do that to someone else.
You will now be remanded into the custody of the Orange County Jail to transfer you to the Department of Corrections, and I wish you the best of luck.
I think that where she is where she deserves to be.